Thank you for joining me. My name is Aaron Rue. I'm a former infantry Marine and marathon runner. I've ran 11 official races and my last race was in 2018. Since then, life happened and I gained too much weight to run that kind of distance. Not the type to give up, I am now on a journey to lose the weight so that I can return to running marathons and fill that one empty slot on my rack of marathon medals. Please join me as I talk about my real-life journey to reclaim running glory. Throughout this journey, I will discuss my running history, my current obstacles, and prove that it is never too late to get in shape. I hope that by documenting this journey, it may inspire others and may provide insight that would allow you or others to avoid the mistakes that I have made. This is my road to redemption, 1 mile at a time. I wanted to talk a little bit today about the plan, because without a plan, it's, you're destined to fail. I think in the Marine Corps we said proper planning prevents, and we said something else, but I'll just say 5 P's instead of 6. Proper planning prevents poor performance. So let's talk about the plan. One, I am losing weight so that I can run. I'm not running to lose weight. And there's a big difference there. Of course, as I burn more calories, I will drop weight. But the plan is about the diet and caloric intake, right? So that's number one, is the plan itself. So as a part of that plan, I'm taking a long-term view, right? And that view is I need to lose 8 to 10 pounds a month. So I set a realistic, measurable goal. And I need to drop a total, in my case, of about 50 pounds before I start adding serious miles. And when I say serious miles, I mean anything over 5 miles, which makes me even laugh to say that is serious miles, because in a past life, I wouldn't have even thought about running 5 miles. But I'm older now, I'm carrying too much weight, and I got to be a little bit smarter. So I may go up to 2 or 3 mile runs here and there after I drop an additional 10, 15 pounds. I'll adjust and just listen to my body. That's one great thing about running, is you learn a lot about your body, and your body talks to you, especially when you get older. And I'm 52, like I said, so I'm not a spring chicken. So I'm pretty good by now at listening to my body. So as weight comes off, I will slowly increase the miles. But for right now, the plan is just to run a mile as many days as I can a month, and then to slowly add to that as the weight comes off. Another part of that plan, this plan is really based in science, right? I'm an engineer by trade, and so I like to know that what I'm doing is not some fad whippersnapper idea, that it's something rooted in science. And so for me, I found the TDEE calculator online, and it's free. You can use this. It's like TDEE calculator.net, I think. But that's total daily energy expenditure. And essentially there, what that gives you is, you input your height, weight, body fat percentage, and that can even be an estimate. And it'll give you an estimate of how many calories you should intake a day. And then it will give you options on your macros if you want to bulk or cut. And obviously in my case, I want to cut. And with me, I can't do ultra low carb. My body just does not react well to nothing but protein. I will have a gout attack if I go keto in like 2 days. So that's not an option. But it's, not only using that calculator and looking at my macros and then putting everything into my fitness plan and meal prepping. And, my wife and I have been doing meal prepping for years now. So that's not a problem. But now it's calculating all the macros that go into each meal and making sure that I'm kind of in my macro neighborhood each day, right? So, and then at that, each month, redoing that calculation and adjusting accordingly, right? Because here's what's gonna happen. I've already hit one plateau, I'm gonna hit multiple others, and my body is going to slow down my metabolism because it's going to think I'm starving, and so it's going to try to save me, and in its attempts to save me, it's gonna make it harder to lose fat. So I've gotta constantly adjust this plan. Now for me, it's about a month at a time, right? I've got a significant amount of weight to lose. I think I'm down 23 pounds, 24 pounds, something like that now, but I've got to keep going. And I've got to adjust that plan every month, redo those calculations, look at my macros, and adjust my meal preps accordingly. And, that also makes me feel good that I'm not trying some new diet, right? I'm just using science to measure the amount of calories and adjusting each month as my weight goes down. And at some point, with the TDEE calculations, I start off with a 500 calorie deficit, right? And I think it's, if you go to lose 1 pound is like, 7,000 calories or something like that, kcals. And it comes out to that if you do a 500 calorie deficit a day times 7 days, that's like 3,500, and that equals to 1 pound, right? You add on to that with some increased exercise. And unfortunately right now I can't really lift because of my shoulder, but I can do body weight things like squats and things like that to help try to maintain my muscle mass throughout this as well. Whenever you're losing weight, you're going to lose muscle mass. And it's just a matter of trying to minimize that, and especially considering the fact that I'm dealing with a shoulder injury on my right shoulder, which is probably gonna lead to rotator cuff surgery, right? So that's another part of the plan, is the TDE calculator and adjusting each month in the meal prep. And then it really comes down to consistency, right? Is being consistent, consistently measuring myself, and just consistently exercising and eating. But that old saying goes that you can't outrun a bad diet, and it's so true. I'm living proof of that, because I think even each marathon I ran, I still was overweight, right? But God knows I was carrying far less weight than I am now. So then I kind of like to look out, right? I want to look at, so what does this look like long term? When can I start doing miles that I'm going to be proud of again, right? And I kind of ran through the math this morning, and I figure it's almost the middle of January. I figure about somewhere between April and June, I should be able to start adding more miles that, from my perspective, are a little bit more respectable. Again, I have to consistently check my ego to ensure that I'm not, pushing my body to injury, and I'm listening to my body, and I'm not trying to go too far, too fast. So that's a big part of the plan. So out here and finishing up the last quarter mile of the walk, I thought I'd talk a little bit about some of the things that are to come. on this channel. You know, food, running is not the entire story. This is really a complete journey of a man just trying to reclaim his life, and it just so happens I'm trying to get back to run a marathon. But you know, a big part of that is diet. And so I'm gonna do some episodes on meal prep and kind of my daily eat and how I eat and what I eat and when I eat and the timing around it and things like that. I'm also gonna talk a little bit about mental health. I'll probably have a whole series on that. You know, that's a big part of this journey. Is like, it's not just making your mind or your body healthy, it's also making your mind healthy. And running has helped me so much with that. I think that there's just a lot of lessons I've learned that I would like to share. And so, and I've touched on some of this in previous videos, but hey, look, if you get any value from this, please like and subscribe and do all that stuff they always say, right? And it just helps me get the video out to get more people to see it. I don't have any illusions about being some big famous YouTuber. I just, you know, I'm taking the time to document a journey that I think a lot of people could benefit from. And the more people that see it, the better, right? And plus, I think, you know, running and getting in shape, and specifically running marathons, it lends itself to a very positive community, right? You see so much polarization out there now, and people are angry about this and angry about that. But when you look at runners, there are a lot of, you know, happier people and tend to have a more upbeat outlook on life. And, you know, as I go further into this journey again, I find my psyche going up like that, right? And it's great. And if that's great, I would like to share that with as many people as possible. So, hey, I hope y'all have a good week. Get out there and get after it. This is Aaron, and this is my road to redemption. Y'all be cool.